Hello guys, Robobat1 here, and today coming up to you with the top 5 best rogue slash budget-esque decks that you could be playing this format, because I've done the, as you saw last Friday, I did the top 5 best meta decks in my opinion, so I thought I'd just do the top 5 best rogue budget decks of my opinion as well, seeing as I always do like the parallel of each. That's something I've been doing every time. Why not? But yeah, I thought I'd set a price range of maybe around, I don't know, maybe £150, maybe £100. Like they're all roughly under 100, I would say, because they've all got like tons of reprints. Like some of them aren't even that much, and yeah, so let's get right into this, because they're actually quite cheap, a lot of these decks, and they're actually very good rogue options as well if you guys just want to have fun. So yeah, let's get on to number 5. So at number 5, now number 5 was a deck that I thought it kind of did get really hit by Link format, but I was thinking, oh, this deck is still quite competitive, it's still got a lot of plays, and it's still got a lot of combos. And this deck is Dede's. Now, why is Dede's on this list? Well, for starters, it's a very cheap deck. Like it got the starter deck reprint, structure deck reprint, which really decreased the value of the deck. I would think you should be able to pick up the entire deck for less than 100, like at least the core for maybe like 40, 50. Thank you, race car. Your dick. But yeah, I would reckon you'd be able to pick up the deck for like maybe the main core anyway for at least £50 at most. So that's a very cheap. Plus the deck still has a lot of combo ability. Being able to make boards with like still being able to make boards with maybe a Crystal Wing, definitely a Siegfried, definitely a Genghis, and Ragnarok. And I've actually played against them before. They do still have a lot of combo ability. They're still they can be bricky at times, I would say, like just how they used to be. But they're still they're pretty much still at full power, other than the Link format. And you can and if you just want to get around stuff like that, you could play stuff like Gofu. As well, to just be to be able to make Decode Talker and other things as well, just so you're still able to get your combos in and everything else. So the deck still has a lot of combo ability, it still has a lot of playability, and the deck can still make pretty busted boards. So being it that it's a very cheap budget deck and that it's still a very combo based deck, that can still bust out a lot of very good boards, such as Siegfried and all of this. Plus, the deck kind of has its own vanities in a way, coming out or is already out. I can't really remember, which just stops your opponent from summoning from the extra deck specific monsters. So it is a very good card, and the deck does have a lot of things going for it. So. Yeah, so definitely at number 5, I can see Dede's being one of the best budget / rogue decks to play this format. Just, you know, it's cheap and fun. And rogue, which is actually pretty surprising. So, yeah, at number 5, we have Dede's. Let's go on to number 4. So, at number 4. Now, number 4 is one of my personal favorites. I believe this is definitely one of the best rogue / budget decks in this format. Now, the deck did get a lot of reprints. It did get reprinted in the Megatins recently. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's kind of obvious. It's Dark Magicians. Dark Magicians, I could very well see you getting very cheaply, depending on the variant you want. Like, I would think you'd be able to pick up at least the main core, thanks to the Megatins, for maybe like 80 quid at most. Like, the deck's very cheap, in my opinion. Like, if you're wanting to get some extra stuff like Link monsters, such as the Link build that I'm testing, that would probably go over the budget, like over 100 quid at most, maybe over 150 if you want to get Decode, if you want to get Firewall Dragons. But the deck still is a very cheap deck under that. If you just want to play the standard Dark Magician variant, it's still a very good variant. And this, and guys in America, this isn't counting Apprentice Illusion Magician Girl. We don't have that in the European TCG, so that doesn't count over here. So that's why it's under £100. Otherwise, that deck would go for like, I don't know, 250. Like, I think that's how much Apprentice Illusion Magician's Girls are, like 60 in America. I don't know, something like that. But thanks to the reprints in the Mega Tins, such as Dark Magic Circle and Navigation, the deck is a lot cheaper. Plus, we got Dark Magician reprint itself. America, you've got that Duelist Pack reprint. We've also got Full Force Virus. That's a very good tech card in the deck that you can be like, oh, tribute off maybe my Robe or my Dark Magician itself. And then for the next 3 turns, all your monsters that are with 1500 or less defense are destroyed, and yeah, you're basically in a great position. Like, I've been testing that version and it actually works really well, so definitely a very good option for this meta as a rogue / budget deck. Definitely easily being able to get the deck with under £100, in my opinion, just because of circles and navigations. Like, I think you'll be able to get a set of navigation for maybe like 25, then wait, no, not navigation, sorry, navigation maybe about 20 a set, and then circle 25, that's 45 quid. Then the rest of it's just like, oh, just a few odd random bits and bobs. Some Eternal Souls, I believe they're like a 5 each or something, so that's like another 15, and then you've got just the other stuff. So the most of the stuff is coming from circles, navigation, and Eternal Soul, but the rest of the deck is very cheap, so it does definitely come in within the range of budget. So yeah, Dark Magicians, they're just a very good deck. They're very stun based. They can banish a lot of cards. They can play stuff like the Shadow Virus card, and it's just very good in general, in my opinion, Dark Magicians. So yep, Dark Magicians on this list, number 4. Let's go on to number 3. So at number 3. Number 3 was a deck that I actually kind of did a little research into because I kind of want to pick it up again myself. It is a deck that I've played before and I actually have done really well with. I think it's the deck that really started to make me good at this game, even though it is considered Helmet. And that is Talonlights. Yes, I believe Talonlights are a very budget-esque sort of budget sort of deck that you can play, that you can pick up the whole core for like 50 quid. Like, literally, the core is very cheap. This is obviously not counting demises, because demises are still very expensive. You can play the deck, like, the deck has, like, you can get the whole core for 50 quid. You have the entire rank 4 toolbox to play with, which shouldn't cost you too much, seeing as Emerald is banned now. We've only got stuff like the main extra deck cards I think you're going to be playing is, like, Castell, Triver, Dweller, maybe Cowboy if you want to be cheeky, but Cowboy's got on a reprint, so, and as a rare, so it's not really that bad. So we do have a lot of different cards we can play in this format. The sun's just crazy today, oh my god. So bright. But yeah, Talonlights do have a lot of power in them as well. They're a very trap-heavy deck, being able to just like normal summon Dede, set multiple back row, and then trigger away any back row that are still on the board, like such as Call of the Haunted, Oasis of Dragon Souls. Those cards you'll still play over back to the front purely because Trigger can just return them back to your hand. Plus we have Honest at 3 now, which really does boost the deck even more because playing triple Honest is amazing. Just being able to be like, oh, attack, drop Honest, good job. Like, Talonlights do have a lot of advantage, plus with Stellar Nova Alpha being able to draw a card and negate anything, it's still a very powerful card as well in general. We also have new trap cards that are coming out constantly. We also have Back to the Front Line. No, not Back to the Front Line, sorry, Struggling Battles coming out soon as well, which should boost the card, but it's not really, but that card's going to be super expensive, so I'm not counting that. But I reckon you can pick the whole deck up for maybe 100 at most. Like, I don't see it being more than 100 for the entire Talonite deck. The core should cost you about 50, and then you've got 50 for other expensives, and if you want to just cut out on some more expensive cards, you could afford maybe a Demise or 2. I believe they're going for like 20s, I'm not 100% sure, but you could fit demisers in the budget if you have the money, if you want. But Talonlights in general, they're a very budget-esque deck right now. They've got the whole rank 4 toolbox to them. They've got tons of trap cards. They can run the entire Solemn Brigade as well, which I did not mention. They've got Call of the Haunted, Oasis of Dragon Souls, which is just very good. Plus, they can run Pot of Duality as well, like True Dracos. So that also is a big plus, because you could just be like, turn 1, Pot of Duality, do. Oh, there's Deneb, get Deneb to hand. So yeah, the deck has a lot of advantage. Plus, they also got the Shadow Talonite thing, which allows you to just go instant trip at turn 1. So that's a very good point as well. But yeah, Talonlights are number 3. Let's go on to number 2. So at number 2, now number 2 is a deck that's kind of obvious to be on this list because it is very budget-esque right now. You could probably pick the whole deck up for like less than, I don't know, I'd think 40 for this deck. And this deck is Paleo. Now, Paleo, in my opinion, is a very budget-esque deck right now. When you look at the deck, you can get everything in common, which is very cheap. If you're running the frog build, the swap frogs are about 3 quid at most, maybe 2 quid for the commons. Rodent Totems are probably the same, and I'd think Dupe Frog is probably the same as well. All the Paleo stuff, the whole Paleo engine would probably cost you, I don't know, like a $5, maybe 10 at most. The Toads got reprinted in the Megatins, making them like 2-3 quid each. So that's very cheap as well. We've also got option. There's also like you can still play the 60 card version with Desires. Desires got reprinted as well, so they're very cheap as well, at like maybe 3 quid each. So the deck is very cheap. If you wanted to get the whole deck, I would say it would cost you around 100, including the extra deck and everything else as well. Because of staples like Demises, you could probably get 3 of those as well in the budget as well. When you think about it, if they're still 20 each, that is. So the deck, you could roughly get the whole deck for about 100, and it's a rogue / competitive option as well, because it can go up against ABZ very easily, which is going to be one of the better meta decks. But in my opinion, it's not going to be one of the really amazing decks, purely because it's just like there's a lot of stuff to stop it. People are going to play Denkos, people are going to play all this other stuff just to stop it. So I really do think Palios are like they're the second best rogue / budget deck in the game, but I don't think they're really at the meta standpoint because of all the stuff that's been happening in the game currently. So Palios, they're a very good deck. You can get the whole deck for very cheap. They're very good. They've got like they've also got stuff like the banishing one, which I can't remember the name of, I'm sorry, where you can just discard a card and then banish any face-up card on the field. They've got Toad, as I said. They've got the Frog engine. You've got 2 different variants, the 40 card and the 60 card variant, which you can play. And you've just got tons of other sorts of cards you can play in the deck, which is just very, very good in my opinion. So for Palios, very, very good option this format. Definitely a rogue / budget-esque deck this format, purely because everything you can get in common, especially Treat Toad, which was reprinted as a secret, sure, in the Megatins, but it's very cheap now because of that. So yeah, Palios are at number 2 because they're very cheap, they're very budget-esque, and they're a good rogue deck now. Saying 5 is always good, as long as your opponent doesn't have Denko. But yeah, that's number 2. Let's move on to number 1. So at number 1. Now, number 1 is a deck that I could easily see being on this list at number 1. I do think it is probably one of the best / rogue decks coming out. Budget as well. Very, very budget. You could pick up the whole deck for less than 15 quid. Like, literally, you could pick up the whole main core / deck for 15 quid and you wouldn't even budge. You wouldn't care. Like, literally. And this deck is Dynamists. Dynamists are definitely a very, very good pendulum / budget-esque deck this format, all because of Mr. Boy comes out this week. I believe it's already come out. No, Mr. Boy came out last week. We're doing this video on Friday, so it's on a Monday. I'm uploading this. But yeah, this Mr. Boy comes out last week. It's a very good deck card, and it really just gives Dynamist a very big boost. So they have the reason I feel like though that they're one of the best budget / rogue decks, and is the best budget / rogue deck in my opinion, is because of the pendulum mechanic is very good in it. So it really does give it boosts. You could pick up the whole deck for like 15 quid. The whole the whole core at least. Which is very good. Mr. Boy, also Miss Starboy gives it a very, very big boost, like a very big boost. Being able to just summon 2 Pendulum monsters from the extra deck easily. Plus they have cards like Dynamist Charge, which allows you to search any Dynamist, plus when a Dynamist leaves the field and goes to the extra deck, you can add it back to your hand, which is another very good reason. They have also the Dynamist Howling, I believe it's called, that allows you to set 2 cards from your deck into the scales, plus tribute Dynamist monsters to compulse or send any card back to your opponent's hand. I think it's only monsters, but it may be any card on the board. So Dynamists are a very, very good deck this format as a rogue/budget-esque option. Just because you're able to pendulum summon, you can also make cards such as Infinity very easily in the deck. You can use Me Starboy to pendulum summon 2 monsters every turn, which is very good. And also when Me Star gives you a boost to all of your monsters, so that gives you an OTK aspect. The deck has a lot of combos in it as well. Just being able to protect any Dynamist from targeting or destruction. Just being able to just pendulum summon multiple cards, being able to recycle your extra deck. All these different things that the deck can do, it just makes it a very good pendulum deck, this format, purely because of Miss Starboy gives so much advantage to the deck that I really do believe that Dynamist are the best rogue/budget deck. You could probably pick up the whole deck for, I don't know, 50, 60 quid if you get reprint infinities and stuff. So yeah, you can get the whole deck really cheap. The deck's very budget, and it's just very, very cheap in my opinion. So it is really one of the best budget/rogue options in the game, just because of how cheap it is. So yeah, guys, that's the list. In my opinion, Dynamist is the best budget/cheap deck. That's my opinion, though, guys. Don't take it for word. But yeah, tell me what you think of this list, guys. Tell me if you're going to be playing any of these budget decks for this format. Tell me if you're going to be playing any of them. Tell me if you're going to pick them up. Tell me if this video gave you ideas. Tell me what your list would be for the best budget/rogue decks coming out in this form for the September 18th format. And yeah, guys, I will see you guys next time. Robert1 signing out. Budget decks and rogue decks, they're great. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and check out the links in the description for the previous video, and the link to my Facebook page where you can see previous videos that I've posted there, and any other information that I may have posted there. I hope to see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.